One like side recommendation I have is like, don't worry about like squirreling money away for retirement in like 10 or 20 years. It won't matter.
No.
Okay.
Either we're not going to be here, or
It just like it's you won't need to save for retirement. If any of the things that we've said are true, saving for retirement will be irrelevant.
They thought I was
I'm
done.
right now at 99%.
Dilton tried to kill me. Wall Street tried to bury me.
After I do this,
God had
I'm
another
going to Israel,
plan.
run for prime minister. At a poll this morning, I'm 99%.
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures in Wall Street. I hope you are doing well. If you haven't had a chance, go ahead and go to Rumble, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as YouTube, and click on Scriptures in Wall Street and subscribe and like our videos. I really, really appreciate that. Also, everything on this podcast is meant for information and education purposes only. Although I am a licensed financial advisor, this is not financial advice, and everything in this podcast should not be taken as financial advice. If you would like financial advice, give us a call directly, 813-448-3446, or you can visit us at cortezwm.com. You can book an appointment there. Now, with that being said, what's interesting, guys, is that we have Kevin Warsh, the new Fed chair. I want to go ahead and say that this is not Jerome Powell 2.0. Jerome Powell was very resistant with Trump. Kevin Warsh is almost like a lap puppy in my opinion. I think how he's going to play this is, in my opinion, okay, I think he's going to try to win your heart. He's going to say, you know, the dollar is doing bad, government spending's terrible, all the things that you believe in. He is going to try to side with you only to do the opposite, because he is under what he's under, right? Like, who is his leader? And this sounds familiar because we voted for borders. We voted for a healthier pharmaceutical system. We voted for conservative values. We voted for a lot of things that we haven't seen. We voted for mass deportation. And we're getting the opposite. We voted for, you know, border security internationally. No wars. We don't need wars. Who wants to mess with us? But here we are. Here we are. We voted for lower gas prices. Meanwhile, I'm afraid to fill up my own 2,500 Sierra truck. Daggone $180 to fill her up. You know, so I'm now conscious of where I'm driving. Like, this thing is expensive to drive. So we have diesel fuel that's through the roof. What is that doing to the trucking industry? What is that doing to pretty much every consumable good that you have? Because everything that you see, touch, or smell hits a truck. Everything. And if we hurt the American trucker, we are going to have an abysmal effect, like just a disgusting, terrible effect on our whole financial ecosystem. So we must protect the diesel fuel. We must protect the truckers and the everyday American unleaded fuel as well, right? So crude oil is going to see a lot of volatility, and we can't even trust what's going to happen based on the bro investor sites like Yahoo, CNN, Fox Business, because the left and the right based media, the two-party system, is proven to be a scam. They're all of the same bird, guys. And you know that. If you're listening to that, you understand that. And so what we have to do is we have to just take a step back, reassess everything. And in reality, we have to, you know, have some clarity and some discernment on what's really going on. So Kevin Warsh, he's really stepping into one of the most prolific, economical, fragile periods in American history, because we have banks that are vulnerable. We have debt that is exploding. We have Americans that are just waking up to the fact that the money inside your bank account is not even real. And it's not as safe as you thought it would be. We've discussed on SPF recently, and we went through the account agreements that even if you have behavioral issues, they can freeze, pause, and deny and reject deposits and withdrawals. But legally, once you deposit your money in your bank, the bank actually considers it liabilities of the institution. So that changes everything. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. And what does scripture say? The borrower is a servant to the lender. So we now become basically a borrower for the bank. It's ridiculous. So the problem is that we're becoming more financially enslaved to the government, consumers, corporations, even the government itself. And now we're entering a period where the people are controlling the monetary policy. And now we're entering in a period where people controlling monetary policy, the Fed, is going to have to choose between three things. They're going to have to choose between saving a dollar, saving the bond market, so much debt being issued, or saving the banking system. Because we can't do all three. It would create, I don't see them doing all three. I don't think we can do that in even 1 or 2 or 5 terms. But Kevin Warsh is going to be a market disciplinary. He's going to win your heart. I promise you that. And the markets are addicted to easy money, but they don't respond well to discipline. So what happens when liquidity tightens up? What happens when the consumer confidence breaks? What happens to retirement accounts? What happens when we expose market volatility for what it is? And now it starts beginning to take damage in your retirement. All of this is happening while the public is consumed with the bro investors' websites, the media, the controlling, the talks about Israel, the geopolitics, the leadership speculation. Now we got President Trump saying that Israel loves him so much he could run over there because he has a 99% approval. Like, that's disgusting. That's not the bigger issue here, guys. The bigger issue is the distraction. So while all this is going on, they're changing laws. They're changing things. They're tracing, controlling you. They're stealing your silver because the prices have been going down because the dollar's pumping up. While people watch missiles and banks and move money, while people argue politics, pedophilia is still skyrocketing, the Disney cruise never even gets talked about. Institutions are restructuring power. They're restructuring what their reach is, what they can actually go in and take some of your freedoms. And this reminds me of Ephesians 6:12, for we not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers of evil places, right? So the system we're operating in, you can't really kill it. The only way you can kill it is getting on your knees and doing what it says in Chronicles. For I stop and repent. If my people would stop, repent, and turn from their wicked ways, he will heal our land. This is not fear. This is not panic. It's just straight wisdom. And so scripture, Proverbs 22:3 says, for the prudent man foreseeth evil, but the simple will pay the penalty. If we just sit back and do nothing with our retirement, if we sit back and be a financial starfish and not do anything, then we will pay the penalty. Do not listen to the media where it says everything is fine. Remember what Janet Yellen said? Oh, don't worry. The banking system is strong as ever. It's safe and efficient. Remember what they said about the COVID jab? That's safe and effective. Remember what they said about the mortgage crisis. Ben Bernanke, when the system is okay. There is a TARP program as an insurance policy, also known as a toxic asset relief program. What happened? They actually changed it. They implemented the Dodd-Frank Act in 2010 because that was an utter failure. People got hurt. We had executives buying $2-3 million rugs for their office and flying all these expensive jets all across the place when people couldn't even pay their mortgages, when companies were going down, when Washington Mutual had retirees here in Florida and they changed the doors and they could not even get in to access their money. How do you think that affected them? Guys, it's time to prepare. If 2008 didn't inspire you, didn't motivate you to see what's to come, I don't have anything for you. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We saw bank failures. We saw liquidity happening, and people never really recuperated. And if you sold out of the market, here's the crazy part. If you sold out of the market in 2008, you never made your money back. But if you were in your Vanguard 60/40 Admiral shares, or if you're in QQQ or SPX, and you held the Dave Ramsey index funds and you wrote it out, you would have came out, but it would have taken you 7 years to recuperate your principal. If you look from 1998 to 2008, a 3% fixed rate of return would outbeat the stock market, the S&P 500. But if I would have told you in 1998 that a 3% fixed bond or treasury would have beat the market, you would have laughed and called me silly. And it actually did. Because we are going into what's known as the lost decade. From 1998 to 2008, it's considered in the history books already as the lost decade. Guys, I don't know what the history books from 2026 or 2024 to 2034 is going to come. But if you learn anything from 01, we had the .com .bomb in 1999 all the way up to 2001. We had massive growth in the NASDAQ. And this was known as a .com era and a .bomb era, because we had 2001 and then 02. It took us a long time to recuperate our funds. This AI bubble that we're in, that we have the Magnificent Seven, Amazon, Google, Tesla, Facebook or Meta, and obviously NVIDIA, Netflix. These Magnificent Seven are literally like a pogo stick. They are controlling the whole market. This whole thing is based on the Magnificent Seven, which is utterly scary for those of you that are relying on the markets. So the system lacks confidence because things are moving really, really fast. And that's where foundation really matters, not just financially, but also spiritually, because we can't be confined into the worldly systems. So Psalms 20 reminds me of Psalms 20. Some trust in chariots and horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord of our God. So today's version of chariots and heroes may be the markets, maybe the banks, maybe the governments, maybe financial institutions. But us believers, we are called to operate in wisdom, stewardship, discernment, and in faith. So when the systems behind the headlines, you got to ask yourself, why are they hoping you don't notice? Why are they hoping that you become distracted? What leads me to my next point. They have already admitted that our retirement system is failing. They have already admitted it in so many ways. Guys, they have a failing system. The Social Security is supposed to run out by 2033, supposedly. I don't think it's going to run out. I just don't think it will be solvent enough to pay out the bills. And I think they're going to figure a way out to screw the American people even more, like they're currently doing. It's going to get worse. The taxation on your retirement is going to be deadly. And this is why we say you don't own your 401k and your IRAs, because you don't know the taxation that's coming on your 401k and IRAs. And this is why Green Money Solutions is so powerful, because we can do right now Roth conversions in green money. We can do Roth conversions in tax-free accounts. We can do regular non-qualified assets into a tax-free bucket that the government doesn't have access to. Now, many of you have called me and said, well, what about not paying taxes? I don't agree we should not pay taxes. I don't agree with that. And I feel your sentiment. I understand. I don't agree with paying taxes either. But let me disclose this here. If you say, I don't want to pay taxes, and when you file, you are openly confessing that, hey, I have a taxable gain. I'm in this corporation, all caps corporation. We understand we're all in this corporate America deal. And you say, I don't want to pay taxes. Well, I'm not saying you got to be sovereign citizen or anything of that nature. What I am saying is that you legally don't have to pay taxes. Now, I'm not giving tax advice. I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what's going out right now. You can legally not file and obviously walk away from taxation. It's unconstitutional what they're doing. I totally get that argument, and I stand by it. But what you need to understand is that if you're young and you have kids, you have to have a tax return, bank statements, all the documents to get a mortgage. So if you want to walk away from taxes and do it legally, then never, ever ask the bank for money. I'm not in a position where I can do that. I wish one day I will be. I hope one day. And actually, one day I will be. But for the average American investor, the average patriot listening to this, if you don't pay your taxes, you show no paper trail. You're getting outside the matrix, so you cannot utilize the matrix, which is, hey, I respect it. But you won't be able to get a mortgage. You won't be able to get a car. You won't be able to finance anything for your children if you want to do that. So just be comfortable with self-insuring, self-loaning, and being your own bank. Many of you don't have $5, $15, $20 million to do that. If you do, good on you. You got to be sure that that money that you have, you're okay with living off the interest for the rest of your life, or living off that pile of money for the rest of your life. Good on you if you're able to do that. But I want to go ahead and disclose that that's the downside, is that you'll never be able to finance anything if you walk away from your taxes. You can legally do it. You can legally do it. And I believe a lot of the information is good. And there's a lot of loopholes in the Constitution. And yes, you can legally do it. I have clients that do it. And I tell them, you can do it, but never go to a bank and ask for money of any sort. And they understand it. And they're okay with it. So if that's you, then good on you, man. But that is the dangerous part about it. Not everybody can afford to do that. The other thing I want to mention is that, guys, the financial concentration camps is going to happen. It's already happening. I envision where it's a digital financial concentration camp, not physically, but they will track, trace, and control you so bad, from the deception of thinking the government has your best interest, from the deception of being lazy. You know how easy it is? And let's watch this clip.
One side recommendation I have is don't worry about squirreling money away for retirement in 10 or 20 years. It won't matter.
No.
Okay.
Either we're not going to be here, or
It just you won't need to save for retirement.
So that video is dangerous. That video basically says you can be lazy. You don't have to work for anything. The robots are going to do it. Do you really trust your financial legacy on that? If America had boobs, and it does, and you're getting breastfed as a baby, you cannot live without the mother's milk. And so they just want to be able for you to control you, because they can't get your guns. They legally can't get your silver yet. They can't get your gold, especially if you're crazy enough to have a government-owned contract against your favor called the IRA, and then you got precious metals in there. They really can get your gold. And you say, oh, it's in Delaware, it's in Texas, they can't touch it. You really believe that? Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't get me started on the manipulations of how they can pump up the dollar to steal your silver. Because it's happening now. And we'll pull up charts to prove it. And I know we have audio listeners and you can't see the charts, but I'll show you anyway. Guys, what's crazy is that we see, and people are waking up to this evil Luciferian garbage that's out there where our administration is not pro-America. We don't have a true America first administration. We need to keep the cross first. We need to keep America first. And we've gotten the opposite. And it sucks. It's emotional. I get it. We need to change the leadership. I totally get it. But also, I don't believe in man. I don't believe in man. I don't put my trust in man. And as believers of the cross, we're never supposed to believe in man. And I love that this is happening, to be honest, because it exposes how weak our faith is. It exposes how vulnerable we are as a country, as a community, as a body of Christ. It exposes us in many ways. And where there's conflict, the other side of conflict is intimacy. You can't be more intimate unless you resolve your conflicts. Don't you know, like growing up, the girls, they would fight and, oh man, they would never become friends. The boys would bloodbath fight, like break your nose, rip your ear, kick you in the nads. And next thing you know, a week later, they're our buddies forever. They're like, because the conflict was resolved. And because that conflict was resolved, they're able to connect at a whole nother level. What conflict do you have with God right now? What conflict is in your life that you need to put 10 toes in the sand and not go walk away from and actually embrace the suck, hug the cactus, because if you embrace it, the sweetest thing is on the opposite side of that. So my prayer for you is maybe the suck, maybe the bad is the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that you have, not trusting people or putting all your money in the bank because you're scared, putting all the money in a mutual fund, putting your retirement in an account that you don't even own, putting your retirement that maybe isn't enough and you're taking more risk outside of your profile. When are we going to hug the cactus and learn how to deal with it? Well, you need solutions. You need a financial coach. You need somebody that understands like everything that you do, live and breathe. You need to have somebody that's aligned with you so that you can have a asset recovery program, an ARP, asset recovery program. How do we implement an ARP that you can have the ability to recover from assets from the 08s and 01s? Many of you don't even have a plan for when the market goes down. You don't have a plan when the market goes up. And you don't have a plan when the market goes sideways. And buying silver and gold does not make it in a retirement vehicle, guys. Because we see the charts. We see that all it takes is for them to pump up the dollar. Now we have a new Fed chair that has a huge influence in the rest of the boardroom, all the other 11 Fed chair representatives. Are they really going to pump up the rates again? Are they going to slam the rates? You don't even know. So how does it feel that you have a retirement that's based on maybe fixed income and you don't even know where your principal is going to be at 5, 10, 15 years from now? My clients do. Our strategies create an environment where clients can succeed because we plan for all three scenarios. We plan for the up, down, and sideways. And I don't know if you have a strategy that has that. Maybe you do with your big woke bank. I don't know. I don't deal with that nonsense. I don't even like dealing with clients that don't even agree with me spiritually or financially or economically. And I don't have to. This is a relationship-based business. I don't have to do business with everybody. I don't want to do business with everybody. I don't need the business. I truly value the business. And yes, I run a for-profit business. And I love podcasts. I love talking about this because we need to be more controversial. We need to be more disruptive in our faith, in our belief. But yet, the more we rise up, the media calls us crazy. The media calls us idiotic. You know, haven't you noticed when you go to Thanksgiving table or Christmas dinner and you talk about politics, your family looks at you weird because we're not the same. They're still stuck into this brainwash pattern until you red pill them, until you show actions. The prudent see it, the evil, the passive pay the penalty. So I know you're prudent. I know you have the spirit of prudency. I know you are proactive because you're watching this. You and I are alike. But what are you doing today to protect the craziness freight train that is absolutely guaranteed to show up in your front yard, knocking on your door to kill your whole home, to kill all your equity, to just completely annihilate your financial future? And that is, if you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. The secret taxation that is going to steal everything. Now, I want you to sit back and think about this. You've worked 20, 30 years. Some of you are real estate developers, American airline pilots, Spirit airline pilots, engineers, business owners that have worked 30, 40 years. You've invested in your simple IRAs. You have CDs. You have all these trusts. You have real estate, IRA real estates. You have precious metals IRAs. I've heard it all, seen it all. Now, just bear with me here for a second. You're in an account and you have FDIC products. Okay, so your liquid bucket is in the bank. Some of you are farmers. You got millions of dollars in the bank and you have to write six-figure checks until you can't because they already lent your money out to other banks. Picture this. We are sending money to Israel. We're sending money to Ukraine. We're sending money to Taiwan. We're sending money all over the place other than America. We're sending so much stinking money that we would never be able to pay it back. Our national deficit is so high, it's ad nauseum right now. Like, I'm numb to it. But here we are. We got close to $60 trillion in assets that never been taxed, called the retirement system in America. Americans, there's over 56 million Americans that have not even saved up for retirement, that are currently working right now. And we saw the viral video of the teachers that don't even have assets in their account. It's 2 days before their paycheck and they only have 50 to $100 in their checking account. Some even have $2. Some are just negative. My heart goes out to them. I'm not here to make fun of them, but that is the reality of where we're at right now, guys. We have all that. We have all this stuff. And what's crazy is the government is banking that you will not have the knowledge to get out of the system. The government is banking that the robots, the track, trace, and control agenda, you will not see. And next thing you know, you're 60 years old, you're trying to take Social Security, which is a welfare program, And now they got you by the short hairs, dude. You have to take the income. You have to understand that if you take it at 62 and you don't abide by the 66 or 67 full retirement age rule, and you took money early and you started withdrawing your own money now becomes penalized if it's before full retirement age. You've worked your whole life. You went every day. You put the tie on. You put your uniform on. You dropped the kids off. You cried and sang songs and had to motivate you to go to work because you don't want to deal with the social and financial problems and the bad environment. You stuck it out. And then you came home to fight with your family and your kids in an unstable situation. And this wore on you for 10, 20 years. And the last thing you want to do is have your retirement now being owned by the government. And you can't even do what you want to do. Can't even get the country land. Or for me, my dream is to have a nice house in the middle of outside of a city where I got to have an ATV to get my mail, or ride an animal to get to my mail. I think that would be pretty cool. Kick the backyard and spray my AR-15 for fun. Maybe I'm a little country. Maybe I just miss walking barefooted in the cool grass in the spring of North Carolina and smelling the honeysuckles and killing lightning bugs. We call them lightning bugs, the fireflies. I used to grab them and like smash them on my arm and roll it up their guts on my arms. And at night, I would just glow like if I was a Pandora animal or something, a character off Pandora. Those were the good old days. Guys, if you have that, embrace that, man, because I truly, truly, truly miss that. Making sweet tea, sun tea in the South, man. Miss those days. Those were simple days, man. But the government doesn't want you to have that. And if you continue being where you're at right now and be passive, the scripture says you will pay the penalty. And guys, what I'm here to tell you is that America has already admitted that there's a retirement crisis. And so what I think they're going to do is they're going to say, you know, we gave you an option to save in a new Trump IRA. You didn't take advantage of it. You now can save into a IRA and not be coincide in the workforce. Well, I didn't have a job. Well, great. You can still save an IRA through our government portal, by the way. So they get to pick the investments, not you in this Trump IRA. Yes, you heard me right. They get to pick the investments of what that platform is, government ordained investments in the new Trump IRA. So what this means is not that they're offering the Trump IRA. What this actually means is that they're in a situation where they actually know that the retirement system is failing, that the pension crisis is here. The student loan crisis has never been resolved. The commercial real estate crisis has never been resolved. The banking crisis is a huge thing. So you guys need to come up with a plan to protect your money in case the system fails. That doesn't mean you have to buy precious metals. What this means is that you need to diversify in multiple ways. Maybe you buy land. Maybe you buy precious metals. Maybe you buy green money and have insurance outside of banking and securities laws on your money, utilizing insurance carriers that have been around before the Great Depression. FDR used insurance-based companies on his qualified assets to pay retirees tax-free income. It's still legal and prudent today. So what I want to say is that be very careful about what is about to come with Kevin Warsh. I really feel that he's going to be the lapdog of Trump. Not to mention his wife is, part of the Estee Lauder family. I don't need to go into that. You know who that is. You know where their allegiance is at, guys. America thinks the Republicans are going to think this is going to be awesome. Interest rates are lowering. Gas price finally going to get low and the stock market is going to grow. They want the stock market to grow. because we have 60 something trillion dollars in qualified accounts. And the bigger that pile of money grows, the bigger the government paychecks grows. So they have to keep up the stock market. They have to tell you that we're going to give you raise the contribution limits. If you look at the historicals of the contribution limits, do you really think that's in your favor? Actually, let me show you something real quick. If you currently have money in the bank, a 401k, or even precious metals in an IRA, you may want to listen up. You're going to want to have a place where you have a guarantee on your funds. As we go into a lower interest rate environment, banks will be stressed out when the commercial real estate crisis happens. Right now, you can get a guarantee, yes, a guarantee on your principal, and get a bonus. If you're younger than 65 years of age, we can utilize an insurance-based contract that has been around for over 100 years. We want to help you find a guarantee on your funds that are actually outside of banking laws, outside of securities laws. And guess what? You get a guarantee on your funds. You get a guarantee on your principal. Go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out your information, and let's just see if you qualify. So just looking up a quick historical contribution limits, and from 1978 to 2026, we'll scroll all the way down to 1978. It was at 45,000. Then they dropped it to 30, and that at 30 in 1984, back to 30, and then they really dropped it in 1987. But then in the late 80s, they started realizing, you know what, we could probably do something here. And a change happened. They went to $7,900. The total limit was always around 30,000 during the late 80s and early 90s. And then it just started creeping back up. 9,200 was a 401k limit. 1998, it went to $10,000. In 2000, it was $10,500. In 2008, it was $15,500. 2016, it was $18,000. 2020, it was $19,500. Fast forward to 2025, $23,500, and now this year's $1,000 more at $24,500. Now, what's interesting is that if you're 60 to 63, you can now do what's called a catch-up, which is $11,250 you can contribute to your 401k if you're still working, if you're over 60. But it stops as soon as 63 comes around. You can't contribute to your 401k at all. You're too late. So the catch-up provision is for people that are over 50. You can add more money to it, to your IRAs. And so what they're doing, guys, is the $24,500 that is literally there for you to take advantage of. They're going to say the $24,500 now becomes part of a reduction. I'm sorry. It now becomes a reduction in your AGI. So, all right, $24,500. I don't have to pay taxes on that because I'm getting a reduction this year. So what they do is they give you a tax credit up front, because if they keep pumping up the stock market, guess what happens? That $24,000 by the $23,500 and the $18,000 that you put in the following year, you keep on adding and adding. You max your 401k. Next thing you know, you got $1 million that you don't even know how much of it is going to be taxable. And that's the scary part, because the government gave you that program. Even though it was your own money, you are completely subject to what they tell you to do. It's scary, man. It really is scary, because all that money, you're going to have to pay taxes. And when you pull it out and you take Social Security, that money now becomes ordinary income. This is the system that we're in right now, guys. You can get out of it. There's some strategies we have for you, but the worst thing you want to do is take risk in your IRAs and lose money. So don't let that happen to you. All you have to do is give us a call to create a strategy. The strategy will be there to help you. and you just got to give us a call. So call us 813-448-3446. Go to visit CortezWM.com. Guys, I'm out of here. I got to rush to another hockey game, and I love y'all. But give us a call, book an appointment online, go to CortezWM.com. And also, don't forget to get your peptides from GetMeLeanUSA.com. I like the fit. I like the pro. You can cancel anytime. It's America First company that utilizes plant-based and animal-based peptides to increase your energy, get better sleep, to lose weight, to build muscle. And us men, us women need to be strong for our families. And so let's get in shape and let's continue to work on ourselves as well as our financial selves. God bless you guys, and I will see you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe our Rumble channel, Scriptures in Wall Street. We're also on YouTube as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. God bless you guys. I'm out of here.